Hello, screeners. How we doing? It's me, the one AJ, Anthony Jordan.
Yeah, she's back in the house. Me too, Nico Leroux. Shout out to all of my Nicoholics. How we doing, people?
Yeah, how is everyone doing? So I'm going to just kick off with a little pre-apology. It may not even be required. Well, one is definitely required. Between moving up and down and left and right, forgot my mic, and I've not had a chance to go to the previous place to pick that up. So I am using a computer mic at the moment, but that is that. Also, I am hotspotting at the moment, people, so it may get intermittent, and then I may just have to jump on from my phone. So I'm just apologizing in advance for any slight technical glitches and poor quality sound, but it is indeed good to be back.
Yes. And the weather has got cold, and the cost of living crisis continues, and it's Black Friday, and we've got no money.
I chose the best time to move. I was like, hey, of course. Oh. Cost of living crisis, why not? Yeah. That was that. So I didn't get a chance to, well, I did in type. I got a chance to type, rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. I refuse to start the show without saying, rest in peace, Jason David Frank. In literally a week. And I said it, and it's still a hard one. Like, if you go back, there's a joke where I said Red Ranger, Green Ranger, and Nick said, who gives a fuck? Now, I'm not even going to bring that up into fuck you for life, because essentially, if you're going to talk silver screen dudes, you are going to talk about how the Power Rangers is an influence, and the Green Ranger is one of the, if not the most iconic moment. And it's really weird to think it's season 1. You know, I remember when I first thought, I was like, it has to be like season 3. Like they came.
Oh no, it's only like a few episodes in. That's the crazy thing. It's not even that deep.
And it again, this was meant to be just a short spell. The character was so popular. Yeah. It's the longest, like Tommy Oliver is the longest running Power Ranger. Literally appeared in absolutely every episode. If you go to YouTube and there's an episode where like all Power Rangers turn up, as Tommy turns up, they're like, oh, it's Tommy. Like everyone knows Tommy to that degree. And hearing that news, literally, I just had flashbacks of young AJ, who was 8 years old. And there was a time my parents cancelled Sky, which is like cable essentially, guys. And I had to give my little aunt a list of stuff I needed recorded. Now, thankfully, Batman was on ITV, so that wasn't a problem. But Sky One had Power Rangers, and that was like an absolute must in the height of it. Yeah. And I just thought of my Saturday morning, I don't want to call it cartoons because Power Rangers, for better or worse, is live action. But I'm like, yeah, that 8-year-old or however old I was who just loved the Saturday morning in 1 week has been absolutely devastated and destroyed, man.
It's not a good time to be a 90s kid. Fuck me.
No.
Like, Batman's dead. Tommy Oliver's dead. The fucking Green Ranger's gone. It's like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
Bro, I think that was the first time I ever cried. Might be the only time I've ever cried over a TV show. This is how invested young, I think 6-year-old me was in the Green Ranger. When he became the White Ranger and became the leader.
Powerful,
bro.
Yeah,
bro. It was like 49, man. Like,
I mean, the circumstances.
Yes, suicide.
But
fucking 49.
Again, like, let me call it. That's 12 years away. Like, to think, like, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing.
Bro, it's fucked up, is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, if 49 is the standard, we're more than middle-aged at this point. We're about to go into retirement. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the sad bit. And as you said, cost of living crisis and the rest is just out to just drain the fuck out of you. And guys, saying that, and it's not saying anything to anyone, but I've seen messages from people, coincidentally, as you know, I run the Ministry of Wrestling, and a lot of wrestlers and commentators have been on like conventions and met Jason David Frank, and they said he was such a great guy. And one of the commentators was actually saying, you went from my hero to my friend, and I wish I had a chance to pick up that message. Guys, if you are in a low point, just don't be afraid to reach out to absolutely anybody. And if you do hit a brick wall, just keep knocking doors, man. Don't feel like you're burdening anyone, because the loss, I mean, we're talking about a TV star, and I'm not diminishing what that is because it was a great impact to us, but you'd be surprised how much you mean to people when you are gone. So just keep knocking those doors, and it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to seek help. So just tell a friend you need.
Yeah, we've got to fucking break that stigma about people thinking it's like embarrassing to seek help. I don't get it, because when you see people who are like, I'm not talking about the steroid beefcakes, but when you see people like going to the gym, getting in shape, it's like, you know, we commend them. It's like, oh, well done you for getting healthy and getting in shape. It's like seeking out help from a therapist or a psychiatrist is literally just going to the gym for the brain.
Yeah.
Like, I do not get why that's become stigmatized by so many people.
I don't want to make it a gender thing either when I say this, but there is also that extra stigma where guys feel like it's not manly to seek help. You know, like if you check the suicide rates, it's there. It's not me just calling it. It's the way it is. There is no shame. There is no shame. I'm the first to put a hand up and say, you know what, I needed to talk to someone once and I've done it. Done me a world of good. Like, do what you need to do. Do what you need to do, peeps. It's there. The silver screen dudes love you if you're scared from anyone else. You don't want to hear it from anyone else. We truly do love you. It's not even a piss take when we say that. That's legit.
No, it's not.
Legit.
It's not. Man, it's such a fucking weird time, isn't it? Like, to lose Kevin Conroy and Jason David Frank in the space of a week is just
bro. Yeah, it's just weird. It was just weird.
I was semi-tempted to spin today's episode and just do like the top 10 Green Ranger moments.
Do you know what? Had you told me, I might have just like binged on Netflix and it would have been a joy. It would have been.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, Netflix has Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin.
Oh shit! Yeah. I know what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah, it was there. I'm sure it's still there.
Green with envy, here I come.
Oh, mate, such great moments. And
it's terrible TV, but we love it.
Yeah, but you know what? I must admit, I've looked back.
It is terrible TV.
Yeah, I apologize to anyone who didn't indulge in this, but hey, it's an obituary Silver Screen Dude start right now. I have looked back at some episodes and I have seen 8-Ball and Skull, and the guys who I thought were like major bullies are the biggest dorks you could ever fucking.
Bulk and Skull.
Bulk and Skull. 8-Ball and Skull. That's the WWE moment. Yeah, Bulk and Skull, the biggest fucking dorks you could ever imagine. It's like, I don't believe I thought these guys were intimidated as a kid, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a moment that we treasure, you know. And
it is. It's childhood, and it's more of our childhood dying out. Robin Williams, Kevin Conroy, Jason David Frank. Our childhood is whittling away.
Well, if you're going to add it, Screech, Dustin Diamond has gone from Saved by the Bell. Like, it's no matter which one you look.
Wasn't my childhood, so can't relate.
Fair enough, but I mean, to a 90s kid, you're going to talk Uncle Phil, you're going to talk Screech, you're going to talk Batman, you're going to talk the Power Rangers, you know?
2 of those 4 I can relate to.
Unlucky.
I would talk Recess and Dragon Ball Z.
They were later for me, to be fair. I get you. I'm not going to play the comparison. No, you're wrong. How dare you? But yeah.
No, it's fuck wrong. It's just different.
Yeah, exactly.
Who is in the house? Who is in the house with us today? Francis Lalonde is here. I'm heard, Francis. Totally forgotten about yesterday's show, then saw the tweet about the 1-day delay. I'm glad we're part of your zeitgeist, Francis.
Well, do you know what? It just shows how powerful notifications are, doesn't it?
Speaking of notifications, our first fucking tangent of the show, that Kevin Conroy thing did well on Twitter. Yeesh. 250 new subscribers we've had on Twitter since that episode.
Nice.
Jesus. How is that? That's some nice growth. Huh?
Thank you and welcome to all.
Thank you and welcome indeed. I wish you would join us live to get that 10 people watching up to 260, but hey-ho, we do what we can. RJ Skarenki is here. Billy Mount is here. Lovely SSD intro. Thank you. Pedro Santos is back. Haven't seen you for a while, Pedro. Opa. Lovely intro. Gavin Mann is here. Good evening, all. Welcome back, AJ, after missing last week's episode, which can only be described as Tablegate. On another note, are you guys enjoying the football? Yes.
So here's the thing, Gavin. I have to address Tablegate. It was more.
Please, let's do this.
No. It was more a situation that I have one of the worst lighting system. Like, the whole house is shit lighting. Even for my girlfriend, she's like trying to put the makeup on. She's like, I need to go into the hallway. I can't record in the freaking hallway. All lighting is extremely shit. Now, I'm not going to play the color game, but you don't want to see a black man in the dark. You ain't going to see shit. So, like, when I texted Nick, right?
I'm not going to play the color game, but
I'm saying that's what it is. I know what I'm calling here. So when I texted, I'm like, I've ordered a table and light, and it hasn't turned up as yet. I turned on and I put a little RIP Kevin. And it's like, you lazy fucker, you didn't want to bring a table. I'm like, I don't give a shit about putting a fucking laptop on my lap. It's in the fucking name. It's the lighting that bugs me. But yeah, we'll call it AJ doesn't have a table.
I'm only going off of the text messages that I received, my friend.
Read it. Table and light. It says table and light.
Cool. Light, you'll forgive me if I didn't indulge in, because one has light in a home. I just didn't realize yours was shit. Table, I could have some fun with.
Yeah. Light. Let's be honest. I'm again, spade a spade. The previous homeowner was a cheap mofo, and cost of living crisis just hasn't allowed me to change as many stuff as I want right now. One of them. No, another thing is I need more sockets in here. It's ridiculous, but hey, it is what it is.
And on note of the football, I'm enjoying it because that cheeky bet that I put on AJ that I told you about, still very much alive.
You had Japan beating Germany?
Yep.
Fucking hell, bro. Because I literally I was looking at that today, and I was like, oh, that's just fucked. That's just fucked.
Nope.
But then,
I had Saudi beating Argentina and Japan beating Germany.
Based on the figures that you had, it wouldn't hurt to have put it each way. You do one bet the logical way, one bet the other way. Either way, you're going to be a happy man. So
you know I've done that, right?
Of course. I should have done that. I should have done that.
Yeah, I'm still very much alive. I've got a few games to go, but because of a booster I've got on predicting an exact score, that 8,000 has now, and I will show it to you on screen right now, has just turned into 20,161. It is still very alive.
So guess who's buying me a table?
Bro,
yeah.
fuck the cost of living crisis. If this bet comes through, your boy's happy. Yeah. So far, I've got every game correct. Come on, Uruguay. That's what I'm saying. Come on, Uruguay. Don't fuck me now, Son Heung-min. Oh, fucking Tottenham cunt. Yeah, I said it's to me. He's actually a very good player. I really rate him.
Listen, it's the team. Yeah. It's the team he plays for. It is what it is.
I'm really
from
enjoying
loving Ashley Cole to despising his actual breath.
And he stayed an Arsenal fan. He had to leave to go and win something, mate. Come on.
I nearly just pressed and leave chat. I swear to God, I nearly pressed leave studio. Like, fuck this.
He was too good for Arsenal at the time. You know this to be true.
Oh, the shit we have to deal with now. The shit we have to deal with now that people would never have dreamed of saying before.
No, I had to grow up with the shit. So now you can take it. The thing I find really cute about Arsenal is the way Arsenal are top of the league and actually believing they're going to win the league title. It's really cute. I like it. I do like the fact that Arsenal have rediscovered their form and are actually competitive again. It makes the league fucking interesting. And we need something interesting, given that Man City are about to win everything since they signed Erling Haaland. Oh, but they lost 2 games already, Nico. Breathe. Like, Arsenal ain't winning shit. City are winning everything this year, and I hate it. It's boring. They've killed English football. Anyway, less about football, more about movies. Richard J. Skarenki is pitching Altitude with Dolph Lundgren. No, nor me. Pedro Santos in reply to Gavin, not very interested in this World Cup, honestly, Gavin. Francis, how about them Wales footballers? How about them, eh? Richard J. Skarenki says, 57 here at the Jersey Shore. Move down here, mate. 57 sounds good.
I could do with that.
Innit? Billy Mount says, R.I.P. Jason David Frank, indeed. And goes on to say, this hurts more than Kevin Conroy's passing.
I can understand that to a degree. If you followed everything he was doing, he is more prominent. Like you could just see the voice of Batman, and essentially when you look through different Batman movies, which again was done just last week, there were different actors, even though Kevin Conroy was still around.
Yep.
Even if you casually jumped into a new Power Ranger, now I'm going to diss Turbo because that's where I kind of cut off. Tommy Oliver still freaking popped up. Like, and it's visual. You know who you're seeing there. You know, you had to search to find out who Kevin Conroy was.
I stopped at Mighty Morphin, mate, and that's the only one that matters to me.
100%.
Jen's back in the house. Hi, Jen. Hi.
Jen.
Francis Long getting morbid. Will Ferrell still alive. Now, I do not like Will Ferrell, but I do not wish death on Will Ferrell.
Death of his career, but not the
death of his career. I agree with that. No, less Will Ferrell. Long may he keep making those stupid straight to streaming service movies that he's doing with Ryan Reynolds. Ryan, you're better than that. Stop doing it.
But here's the thing: they're latest films in the freaking cinema.
Cool. How's it doing?
Bro, I have not a clue, because here's the thing. Mrs.'s birthday yesterday, hence what the delay, right? It was an absolute guarantee I will not do a single thing apart from make you a happy woman. Yeah, nearly got there. Anyway, bottom line of it is, I was like, let me try and take her to the cinema. Wakanda Forever is not going to be on her list. And I'm like, what is there? And I'm like, there's a Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds movie. Really? And it's in the cinema. It smells on Netflix, you know?
Spirited, I believe it's called. No, it's gone straight to Apple TV, I believe. Then the text joining us again. And Jen agreeing with me, 100% agree. Therapy is super cool and completely normal. And joining us live for the first time from the Bigger Movie Pod, one of the best podcasts out there that isn't ours. It's not Rob. It's Irina the Nerd, Irina Petrova. Woo! Hey, hey, hey. Train interwebs is holding. Stay moist. If you know, you know. And then the text says, the best hairline in TV history, the Black Range. Poor Zach.
Bro, if you see some pictures of the trim, it was dead. But hey, it is what it is.
Poor Zach.
It is what it is.
Let's get through a few more of the. I'm with the table. I'm with your people. Yes. Gavin Man says AJ's in the next IKEA advert building a table. I would actually fucking pay money to see that.
I am capable of building a table, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, I would love to be in it. Silver screen sponsorship right there.
And Pedro, to answer your question, yes, I bet on Saudi Arabia beating Argentina. That's one of the things that pushed my amount really high. Just to be clear, this bet, I've only put £1 on it, and I've got a £20,000 return at the moment, as you all saw. It's going very well. You have to take a few crazy bets, and then, the World Cup usually full of surprises. I just looked at teams like Germany who haven't found their feet, looked at Argentina who are, people can rave about Messi all they want. They're an aging team. I was like, they're not there. Fuck it. Bet on the Saudis playing for the first time in an Arabian World Cup. They're going to have the team behind them. I was like, go for it. Why not?
Logic.
It worked. It fucking worked. And Billy Mount, no, not Arena of the Nerd. Irina. Got to say it with my French accent. Irina Petrova. Irina the nerd. She always moist, She likes the moist. And I will be joining the Bigger Movie Pod at some point in their upcoming season. So, yeah, if you're not following Bigger Movie Pod already, please do follow them as well as us, of course, on all podcast platforms. AJ, shall we get into it?
Okay, let's do this. Okay, guys. I would.
Hang on, what? Nico and AJ imagine if rugby had a Super Bowl. It does. It's the World Cup. Sorry, am I missing something? And Pedro says, what?
You know when you pause, right? Yeah, okay.
World Cup. Pedro Sancto says, so who do you have for winning the tournament? The bet, I haven't got the bet going past the group stages at the moment. I think my bet cuts off about halfway through the group stages, and then I can put another one on. But
I'm so torn when it comes to England. I'm so torn.
You never know, bro. Listen, they look solid.
I would love redemption based on the Euros because
and the last World Cup.
Yeah, but I'm talking about it was the Euros, yeah, where
last World Cup, England got to the semi-final, and the Euro they got to the final. Like England
got to the final. I'm talking about the disrespect and the big R that took place. Like, the racism of England. It's funny because with all your goals that came in your first stages, it was them. But anyway, we won't go there. But on the flip side, I also know what the patriotism of the Brits are when they win something and the inability to shut the fuck up. So I am so torn on it. Like, it would be good. It would be nice. It
would be great for football to quote unquote come home, even though the way I see this, football currently is home because the Jules Rimet trophy, which is the World Cup trophy, and the whole concept of the World Cup was a fucking French invention. So the way I see it is that the World Cup is home. And to answer your question, Pedro, I actually think that France are in with no more injuries permitting. France are in with the shout of retaining.
Always in with a chance. France
are in with the shout. England look good. Spain look fucking good today, like really good. And let's see what happens with Brazil. Let's see with Brazil. At the moment, I'm only seeing 3 teams.
Brazil's not who Brazil used to be to me anymore, man. I can't lie.
No, they're not. Well, they haven't.
I'm not saying this shit, but It's just not what it used to be.
It's craziness. Brazil haven't won a World Cup in 20 years. Can you believe that shit?
I know. But
They're
you know
supposed
that
to have a new breed
intimidation
coming through, but I've seen who's in their team, and I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
It's just that, there was that intimidation of, oh my God, they've got Brazil. No, it's like you're in for a fight, but it doesn't mean a guaranteed walkover.
No, definitely not. And with then, more movie talk, please. Let's get to the movies.
We're ready. Right, so before we start, would you like to tell everyone what the Movie Mount Rushmore is all about?
Basically, it's a top 10 show between two best friends from school. How does the Movie Mount Rushmore actually work? AJ and I each get assigned a topic. We go our separate ways. We come right back here into the recording, into the live stream, and deliver to you, the Silver Screen Dudes, our film familia, our individual top 10s. AJ's back, so he can go first this week, delivering his bottom 3. I will then deliver my bottom 3. AJ can deliver his next 2. I will deliver my next 2. Then we will trade one apiece. If at any time while we are rounding off our individual top 10 list, one person has a movie in a higher position, that person will say,
punt.
And we will punt and talk about that movie when we get to the higher position. Ooh, I like that. Higher. Once we have both rounded off our individual top 10 lists, we will create the Movie Mount Rushmore. These are the 4 quintessential, diverse, must-see movies of the genre, which this week is...
Top 10 movies on a plane. We've done...
Yes, we've done boats. We've done trains. We need to do cars next.
Have we not done cars?
We've done movies about cars. I don't think we've done movies in cars.
Well, there's only one film that really works for that. It's a Charlie Sheen movie. I can't even remember what it was called, but he's literally The Chase. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you got Lock as well, that Tom Hardy movie where he literally spends the whole movie in the car. You've got Drive with Ryan Gosling. Fuck you. There's movies out there.
Depends how much.
Before we actually get into it, guys, please do remember that literally for less than the price of your daily coffee, if you do like the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast, you can support us at buymeacoffee.com/movie dudes. And literally, I mean literally, for less than the price of your daily Starbucks, you can show some love to the movie podcast that you love as well. Quick update. I can't thank you guys enough because the support we've had has been quite awesome. We are actually near our target now. So it says on our Buy Me a Coffee page that once we get to £500, we were going to be investing in a piece of software called Wirecast, which should hopefully add a new dimension to our streams and actually make the show even better for you guys. So we're not pocketing it. It's being reinvested to make the show better. We are nearly there. So any help at this point would help. Also appreciate it's a cost of living crisis. So if your wallet's tight, hey, I hear you. I get it. I completely get it. But AJ, without further ado...
Right.
Just before well done, Billy Mountain. Disney and Pixar's Cars. Well done.
Well, it's not in a car, though. We've never seen the interior.
I mean, well played. We never see inside of him. That would be weird in the scope of that movie, wouldn't it?
Please don't. Stop going there. But, right, here we go. Before we do, I don't think we're going to do the whole thing, but after we, the Silver Screen Dudes, have created a Movie Mount Rushmore, it's over to you, the screeners, to head on over to @MovieMT_Rushmore, the official handle of the Silver Screen Dudes, and more importantly, @MoviePolls for You, fronted by JT of We Love Movies. Over there, you will see the top 4 movies that we have picked, and you can get to vote for the best of the best of the best with honors, El Capitan, El Numero Uno, and to quote Highlander, in the end, there can be only one. There has been 2 weeks since we've gone. Would you like to
Andy Hart's not here. He's not nervous.
We've also got we're 23 minutes in. Do you want to announce the winners, or is it too hard for you to get through to? I don't know.
No, I got it.
Okay. Have you got both?
I've got the one from last week.
Okay, which is a Batman thing. Right.
We'll just do that.
Cool.
So it was the best Batman movie, excluding the Christopher Nolan and Tim Burton movies.
Okay.
Our contenders were The Dark Knight Returns, Batman Under the Red Hood, The Batman, and Mask of the Phantasm.
This is tough.
Yes.
Depends how much people are into animation. It's literally one way or the other.
It better be. There's 3 animation movies in there.
What I'm saying. Right. I'm going to go weird with this. Mask of Phantasm at number 4.
No, sir. No, sir.
The Batman.
No, sir.
What was the first one you said? Batman, not Under the Red
Dark
Hood.
Knight Returns and Under the Red Hood. No, sir.
The Red Hood
got fucked. 8%.
I was so adamant that was going to be number 1.
Innit?
Okay. Damn. This makes it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This makes it interesting.
There's a clear winner. That's all. That's the only clear thing I'll tell you.
Right. Okay. So that means the Batman's number one. I will go with your Batman movie, Dark Knight, or whatever that one is.
No, sir.
Mask of Phantasm.
Number 3, Mask of the Phantasm, 23%.
Then the last Batman animation.
Yep, The Dark Knight Returns got 28%, and Twilight Boy continues to be dead because the Batman stole it with 41%, which I'm very happy about.
Fair enough. Congratulations, our pets. That's the way we'll go.
Yes, yes, so happy, so happy.
Out of interest, not that we have to play the game because I do want to get on with this. Who won the horror, if you remember?
That is a good question. I can scroll quickly and find that. Why don't you crack on with your first movie?
While Nico scrolls into that, I will go with my number 10 in the film set on a plane. And I will go for...
Do you want to say the title?
Which come up?
It's up. AJ, it's up. It's up. It's up. AJ. Yeah. Oh, it's a great way to start. AJ, it came up. Say the name though.
Yeah, I said United 93. So yeah, we're flowing now. Yeah, you good?
We're good. Yeah, I haven't seen it, mate. So educate me.
Yeah. Okay, so United 93.
Ooh, signal no good.
Issue of the one of only 4 planes during the September 11th attacks that didn't actually hit its target. Now, I could be extremely wrong, and the comments may cuss me for it. What I did like about this film is the fact that it didn't have actually recognizable faces. It was something that made it more grounded. It felt like you're adapting the story and the journey of everyone. Yeah. What hurt me with this is I felt like it was only the end of the movie that really captivated me. Now, this could be my fault again as well, because I was doing double duty. I was watching this film while also getting on with some work that I had to catch up on. But I'm watching it, and you've got the moments where planes have gone into both of the Twin Towers and stuff like that. I'm seeing it, and they've even used real life footage, but it wasn't as strong as an emotional grabbing as I wanted it to be. But when it gets to the point where those on United 93 are looking to hijack the hijackers and make a fight and try and stop this and try and see what they could do to save it, that's when I was invested. That's when it really caught me in, and I was like, like, you can feel the emotion then, which is when you talk of something as tragic and as horrific as that event there, it's what you're trying to feel. And I get it, you are focusing on that one, so maybe the others should, but you still need to feel how detrimental it was, I think, to follow the journey. For instance, yeah, I can remember where I was when 9/11 took place. There were some kids who could watch this film and weren't even born when it took place.
Yeah, you know? I remember very well as well. Monsieur Moulin's music class. Thank you.
I was on the coach going to Rains Park.
Look at that.
Yeah, and I remember people talking about the it reminded them of a video game. I can't remember what video game it was, but there was something in that game where the planes went into the Twin Towers as well. But there was a game that's
banned now. Jesus,
bro, I have no clue. But everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's just like that," and that was that. But that was the thing. The most, and I don't want to say iconic, but the most memorable moment, sadly, is both towers going down at that time, and it just didn't feel like it touched that. Obviously, the story is the plane that didn't achieve the mission of the terrorists, but it just felt slightly lacking for me, and that's why it was there. But it still caught the emotion and started to see a bit of history being told. So for that, it definitely made the list for me.
Fair enough. It sounds sounds semi-interesting. It sounds like they had a story which they didn't fully execute. But I
somehow wonder, especially with the cast that was in place, is it a case that the budget wasn't there to be able to go as deep as they wanted to? You know, I could be wrong. Again, I might get cussed out like, "How did you not recognize?" Sorry, I didn't. That's just
okay. Word 789 also in the house. Thanks for joining us. Word 789. Yo, Snakes on the Plane ain't on this list. Stay tuned.
Right. Okay.
I've got the horror poll for you if you wanted it. We definitely got it right because there was only 10% separating all 4 movies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good.
We could play it really quick.
Go for it. So it was The Conjuring, The Descent, Let the Right One In, and A Quiet Place.
I'm just going to be an arse because I've not seen it. The Descent at number 4.
Yes, 18%.
Let the Right One In at number 3.
So the interesting thing is that there actually is no number 4.
Okay, so that was number 3. Fair play.
It's a joint 2.
Let the Right One In and A Quiet Place.
No.
Let the Right One In and The Conjuring.
Yep, both got 27. And I mean fucking narrowly edging them out with 28% was A Quiet Place.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kite.
Wow.
So we actually got that one completely right.
That film, yeah, done bits for me, man. That told me, yeah, okay. I'm actually pumped for number 2. I know it's out, but yeah, for me to see.
Oh, it's great. It's really good. It's not as good as the first, but it's really good.
Cool.
No, watch it. It's really good.
No, it's not a detraction. It's just like we've got other episodes to commit to. That's all it is. It's not a detraction by any means. Right.
You're number 9.
Number 9. Rachel McAdams, Cillian Murphy, Red Eye.
Punt.
Okay.
Punt.
Right. Okay. In at number 8. If it was for more time on the plane, it would probably be higher. In at number 8, Tom Hanks in.
He's frozen again at the worst possible time. AJ has picked in at number 8. He's picked Tom Hanks in Sully. AJ, return to me. Return. AJ, are you here? Please come back to the land of the web. He's frozen. Oh no. I'm going to remove him and he can refresh. Okay, so it's just me on screen right now. Cool. So Sully did not make my list. Reason being is kind of for the reason that AJ just said, is that yes, the movie's kind of about a plane, but for me, not enough of it actually took place on a plane. The movie's great. It's a fascinating story. If I'm not mistaken, it's a true story. Tom Hanks is, I mean, I'm not saying anything new at this point. Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks. He's pretty freaking good, isn't he? He's always really good. AJ's gone. He'll be reloading in just a moment, as I can see down below. But yeah, it narrowly missed out on making my top 10, Sully, simply because not enough of it takes place on a plane. It did make me bat an eyelid a lot with, I think only, correct me if I'm wrong, or have an opinion against me if you wish, but only in America would someone who has literally saved the lives of so many people then be vilified and taken to court. And it seems that AJ is back once again like a renegade master. I see him down below. D4 damage your power to the people. Come on, AJ. Give me a signal. What? Oh dear. No, this is no good. This can't do. Oh dear, AJ. Bye. Okay, cool. Let's see who's in the comment section, and then hopefully we'll get back to AJ's number 8. And if not, then I'll crack on with my list, and we'll hope AJ will join us. Who has made some comments? Pedro Santos says there was that Spider-Man teaser that got pulled from featuring a helicopter getting stuck in a web between the Twin Towers. I did not know about that. And Pedro goes on to say that no, same comment. Francis Lalonde says plane film, Blue Thunder, 1983. Unsure if eligible. Helicopter, not eligible. Planes, not helicopters. Although that could be an interesting top 10 list. Then the text says, heading home, I'll jump back in within 1 hour. Keep this great show going. See y'all soon. Thank you, Den. Word 789. Orly, I believe you mean Sully. Good movie. Yes, it is a good movie. I agree. Gavin Mann says, I wish A Quiet Place was second and The Conjuring was first, so that I could say that my choice was second to none. I like that. Irina Petrova, while I've got you, you messaged me on Twitter recently asking me about my favorite cocktail. Is there something I missed out on Bigger Movie Pod with regards to cocktails? Was there a reason for this? And also, this is an interesting one while we're waiting for AJ and killing time. What is everyone's favorite cocktail? Mine's a mojito. Let me know. Gavin Mann says, well, that's your opinion. That's a good in-house joke. Word 789 says, I hope for that reason the movie Flight isn't on this list. Well, stay tuned, Word 789. You may be disappointed. Irina Petrova says 7700 is also pretty good. I see a white screen from AJ. And Pedro Santos goes on to say, would Always or Memphis Belle be considered for plane films? Funny thing there, Pedro, I actually haven't seen either of those, so I'm afraid I can't really help you on that front. But, and Pedro Santos says, cocktail, caipirinha for sure. It's because you're a Brazilian. I respect that. I respect that choice. Irina, I'm waiting to hear from you. What is it? Black Russian? Gavin Mann says teetotal. Listen, I think while we're waiting for AJ, who's clearly having internet problems in his new casa, should we crack on with my bottom three? Hoping that AJ hasn't got any of these for the sake of a punt. Word 789, you're going to be very, very happy because in at number 10 for me is Snakes on a Plane. Now, is this a good movie? Abso-fucking-lutely not. This is not a good film. But is it fun? Oh, yes. Is it extremely self-aware of itself? Oh, yes. Now, when a movie knows it's shit and it can own the fact that it's shit, for me, that movie gets a solid pass. Because the concept is utterly ridiculous. Who have we got here? Jen says, Nico, margarita is off to Florida. I drank 2 tiny ones in LA and got very drunk. Yes, Jen and I got quite smashed in Florida together. That was fun. Rob Barber, also from the Bigger Movie Pod in the house. Hello, darlings. True to my word, I have arrived. Just got out of my software engineer boot camp. Also, hello, Irina from Bigger Movie Pod. Yes. The Bigger Movie Pod is invading the Movie Mount Rushmore show. Irina says, Rob! Word 789 says, I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this Monday to Friday plane. Oh, monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane. Yes, that was the PG version, wasn't it? And Francis Lalonde says, snakes playing about 2.5 out of 5, but 4.5 for fun. Yes. Now, is AJ back? Can I bring you back in? Are you good?
You can. So here was the weird thing. I don't know if you heard it. There's a moment when I said, how can you hear me? I've got 2 phones that are doing hotspot. And I turned one off and it freaking connected to the other one, but that's powering the missus to watch Netflix at the moment. So at that point when I was like, how could you hear me? And how my back was absolute pure shock. But I heard you doing me the justice there, bro, and talking about what Sully is about. So because I don't have the vision to be able to see exactly what order I've put stuff in, I am doing double duty here and trying to remember. But yeah, so thank you very much. Tom Hanks is a man who's been villain.
On Sully, but I mean, if you want to add to it, rock on.
No, to be fair, I literally heard you talking about a man who was vilified for landing the plane safely and had to prove his innocence. I saw a quote about Flight. I don't want to bring it up just yet in case it's on your list, but essentially it was one of 2, and I felt like because of the simulators in Flight in Sully, it had just a tad more plane time than Flight. But it's also a freaking awesome movie.
Rob Barber from the Bigger Movie Pod has joined us in the interim, AJ. So I'm very happy that you're back because we were being outnumbered by a fellow indie.
I saw this. I was like, press me back in. We won't be out silver screened.
Exactly. And Rob Barber, to welcome me back on, says, AJ, get the table.
Thank you, Rob. This will not live down.
No, it won't. It will not.
But right now, before the table, I need to get the internet, which is just a bit of a pain. But hey, cost of living crisis. One step at a time.
Put your router on.
That's fine. That can stay on the floor. It just needs to travel to the right distance.
To stay on your knees, but yeah, just saying.
Table, shut up.
Bite, motherfucker, bite.
I'm not biting. Right, so that was my number 8. So
yeah, we were on my number 10, mate, which I don't imagine you've put on. I brought in Snakes on a Plane.
Do you know what? Shock confession. I think we've joked about it, and you've told me how bad it is, but I still not got around to watching it.
It is bad, but at the same
crazy fun.
It's crazy fun. Like bad movies who think they're being good have got to be so many levels of bad in order to go full circle and become good. The Room, I'm looking at you. But when you're bad, thinking you're good and just not bad enough to be considered good and go full circle and you just stay shit, Snakes on a Plane isn't that. Snakes on a Plane is bad but knows it's bad and it owns the fact that it's bad. And for that, it's kind of redeeming. Like, yes, they put a mega A-lister in it to try and pop a number.
Money. Yeah,
pop a number, and they did. Like, it's a
people still talk about it to this day. So hey.
Yeah, it's a cult film. You can say what you want about it. It's a cult film. Is it terrible? Yes, but is it all sorts of fun? It's such fun. It's so stupid, but it's such fun. In at number 9 for me, hadn't seen this for years. Was hoping that I would enjoy it as much as I remembered, which is why it's my number 9. Kurt Russell, John Leguizamo, and Steven Seagal in Executive Decision.
So here's the funny thing about this. I'm very sure I've seen this film. I started it and I just haven't had the chance to finish it. And it sounds bad, but I was like, Halle Berry as an air stewardess. I've seen this. Like that.
Halle Berry as well. Sorry, I shouldn't have forgotten.
That is what came into my head. Do you want a fun fact about this film? Because it popped up on my Google search.
I'm all ears.
Right? I will let you take it away because I really don't remember this film for shit, short of Halle Berry as an air stewardess. John Leguizamo has actually stated that the film that he has out now, is it The Waiter? The Waiter? There's a film out now and with Ralph Fiennes called The Waiter. And he actually said,
The Menu.
The Menu, sorry, that's the one, The Menu. He's actually said that the horrible character in that was actually inspired by the evil human being that is Steven Seagal, who he worked with on Executive Decision. So yeah.
Why? Because it's
I didn't get to read the full article. It was something I've actually sent to myself to read, but yeah, I found that quite.
I've got a little confession about Steven Seagal now. I've bashed on the guy for years, but because we've covered a lot of movies now over the course of 5 seasons, and it goes on and on and on. And for the sake of not, we had a freaking delete episode, yes?
Yeah.
But this, keep your head in screen, my friend. Keep your head in screen. There we go.
Sorry, get some water at the same time. Hydration.
Yes. The amount of Steven Seagal movies we've been, I guess we should say, forced to watch over the course of the last 5 years is higher than one would like. He's growing on me.
Steven Seagal it's what I would call cheap heat. Like, you know what you're getting in a Steven Seagal movie, but you're probably going to think it's better than it was. It's not good. It's just better than it was. That's the way I would deal with a Steven Seagal movie. Like
because he is.
Do you know what it is? Steven Seagal is level 2 to me of annoying martial artists. Right at number 1 is Chuck Norris. Right, it's these guys who just like are worshipped at the helm because they can do a couple of kicks and shit. Like, I'm not underestimating them. They will fuck me up 10 ways of Sunday. I'm not here to dispute that. But it's the worship. So it's a bit like Idris. They're not so much to blame. It's the fans of these gentlemen that make them annoying. Do you know what I mean?
That's fair. But I was never a fan of Steven, as Rob says, Seagull. But Family Guy reference for you, like Joe Swanson, who's the paraplegic police officer in Family Guy. He's a massive Steven Seagal fan. That's like the ongoing joke in Family Guy. I kind of feel myself aligning with Joe Swanson because more I'm watching Steven Seagal movies as I get older. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still a sucker for something that actually moves me and has some, profound depth to it, something like The Banshees of Inisherin, which please fucking see that movie if you haven't already.
No, I haven't had a chance to, but I will do.
But there's also room in my repertoire for some stupid fun. And I have to say, I'm really, as I'm getting older, warming to the brain dead performances and movies of Steven Seagal. Like, I'm sorry, the moment Steven Seagal dies in this movie, I got bored. I was like, interesting. Under Siege 2, movies on the train. We discussed this. He's made train and plane. Look at that, Steven Seagal. But seriously, Under Siege 2, I had a blast with, and AJ's fucking internet has gone again. God damn it, this is going to be a one-man show, isn't it? AJ, return to me now. Return. Everyone, usher AJ back into existence, please. And we'll remove him. Hello, it's me again. Rob says he will always be Steven Seagal to me. Yes. But this is what I'm saying, Francis. Steven Seagal films, low expectations, but I have a blast with them. I can't help it. It's, And Rob says, stupid fun, you say? That's why we're collabing soon. Yes, we are. Please be on the lookout. And if, as I've said already, if you're not following the Bigger Movie Pod already, please do so. One of the best podcasts out there that isn't ours. Irina Petrova says, I'm stupid and you're fun, Rob. You're moist, Irina. And you're both fun. If you know, you know. Pedro Sancho says, I remember seeing Executive Decision in theaters and not caring much for it at all. So this is what I'm about to get to. Is AJ back? No, he is not. This is what I'm going to get to. Executive Decision seriously outstays its fucking welcome. Because I multitask, Nico. Very good, Irina. The premise of the movie is good. Capture plane which has a senator on it, hold plane ransom, and get what you need. Like this is lowest common denominator, but surefire, foolproof stuff as action movies go. But the movie is way too long for what it is. I think it clocks in at nearly 2 hours. After it's between an hour 45 to 2 hours. Now, while that doesn't sound long, believe me, I'm not the whole TikTok generation thing where it's like 30 seconds is too long. I'm not about that. But 2 hours to tell a story of plane being hijacked and then unhijacked, if that's a word. It's like, how much can you tell? Yes, the part where they're all boarding the plane to take it back, that was cool. But that happened in like the first 30 minutes of the movie. The moment they're like on the plane, it's like, I kind of feel like that scene from the, that recurring sketch from Monty Python where it's like, get on with it. It's like, Jesus, wept do they take their time. Billy Mount says, I'm back, by the way. Pedro Sanchez says, I really hope Passenger 57 is high on these lists. Always bet on black. AJ will be happy to have heard you say that, Pedro. Billy Mount says, executive decision is Die Hard on a plane. Yeah, it's Die Hard on a plane, but less good. Less good. And one thing about the movie, Steven Seagal dies in it. Yeah, but Billy Mount, as I was just saying, I've got a weird soft spot for Steven Seagal, I've discovered. Rob Barber says, I watched Beverly Hills Cop for the first time over the weekend. I had plane in it. It had a plane in it for a scene. Lol. But I liked it. Yes, Beverly Hills Cop, very good movie. And Rob Barber says, fuck me, the airport in Friends is the biggest piece of shitty mise en scène. Yes, it is. Francis Long pitches another plane film. The Spirit of St. Louis. St. Louis? Haven't seen it, Francis. And what did I think of Kurt Russell in it, asks Billy. Well, you're trying to get me to... It's like True Lies, which is admittedly my favorite action movie of all time. At no point did I buy Arnold Schwarzenegger, the computer scientist. It's like, you're CIA and you smell of it, yeah? I couldn't buy Kurt Russell as geek. It did not work for me. I'm going to crack on. Sans AJ at this point. So that was my number 9. My number 8, lovely people. May get some hate for this one, but I think it's justified. My number 8 from Christopher Nolan, Dunkirk. Had to bring in Dunkirk. Now, if you're regular listeners of the show, you'll know that I am a huge fan of Dunkirk. Is AJ messaging me? Please stand by. I do apologize for this. Oh, and he's back. Do we have a signal? Is there a signal? Is there a signal?
I think we're good. I've actually changed phone. This is hence the AJ, not Anthony Jordan. Who knows if the laptop would fucking work, but hey, I'm not here to delay any more time. So I'm guessing you guys want my next number, right?
No. My number 9 was executive decision, and I just literally brought up my number 8, which I have a feeling you will have forgotten and you're going to kick yourself for forgetting. Dunkirk.
I didn't forget it. As I said, look, I had Sully, I had Flight, I had Dunkirk. I actually think of more boats with Dunkirk than I do planes. I'm not disputing the fact that there's a plane in there, Tom Hardy. There are planes in there. But it was just more a case of there are more plane prominent films in there. So.
See, this is kind of why I was torn on it, because while I agree with you, in fact, I kind of regret putting some of the movies where I have on that very logic about plane prominence, but planes were prominent in this film. Planes, like boats, planes, beaches, like it's all very...
Yeah, I'm not disputing it, don't get me wrong, but, others are on a plane.
I mean, a third of this movie, I would argue, is on a freaking plane.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you've got dogfights, you've got the whole flight over the channel, you've got the point where he comes in and saves them at the end. Like, planes are big in this. Like, the Spitfires are very, very, very glorified in this movie. And this sound engineering on the Spitfires is fucking sensational. I've made no secret about this. I adore Dunkirk. I've never seen Nolan play so well with time as in this movie, and the motherfucker likes to play with time.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was like my number 1. It actually really brought me in.
It's so good. It's so good. I can't understand the hate for it. It's one of those weird things that people hate on it. I'm like, where? It's well made. It's well made. It's cool. It's well acted. The story's engaging. It's beautifully shot. It's well sound engineered. It's clever the way that you never see the Germans until the very end. I'm like, what's to hate? I don't get it. Each to their own, though. But that was my number 8. AJ, your number 7.
Right, in at number 7, I'm going to try something here. Tell me if this works. Right. No, it doesn't. Okay, no, it doesn't. Cool. Because I'm on a different screen with one echo. But if you could put it up.
In 3,
in at number 7, it's a bit of a cheat. It's the Twilight Zone movie. Now, the reason why it's a bit of a cheat, because it's not the entire film based on a plane. The film itself is based off of 4 mini stories or something like that. But arguably, this story is one of the most famous stories of the Twilight Zone. Are you familiar with the story of terror at, is it 30,000 feet or 3,000 feet? I don't know.
No, monsieur.
Okay. You watch The Simpsons?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know that episode where, I think it was Homer that was, when they done the horror one, when they believe there's a monster on the wing of the plane?
Rings a bell.
Exactly. It's not brought up as much as it used to be, but this is from a Twilight Zone. It was a spoof of the Twilight Zone. The original TV series that had it, which I think is just a 20-minute episode, was with William Shatner. This is John Lithgow, who is actually playing the gentleman who's actually quite petrified of flying, goes to the toilet and hears some noises, then looks out the window on the wing. He sees this monster, and again, we know the story. It's the more you keep going back, everyone's looking, no one sees it, but then the engine starts to fall out. I've not seen the film in a while, but when I was thinking of elements of films on a plane, this is one of those that I thought was quite legendary status back in the day. You don't see it as much there, but it is that beast that is on the plane, despite everyone else's thing. So is it an apparition? Is it his fears getting the better of him, or does it truly exist? I won't spoil, but yeah, I thought it would be a nice honourable mention in there and quite a classic to bring up.
Listen, I'm always open for the edutainment, and you're certainly doing that this week. United 93 and Twilight Zone, 2 films I have not seen.
Cool.
I like it. Carry on, mate. You're number 6.
Right. In at number 6, I don't know what people's plan is on this one, but I enjoyed it. Flight Plan. Yeah, that's the one. Flight Plan with Jodie Foster. I saw this for the first time, last week. Really enjoyed it, actually. The ending I thought was stupid as fuck. Have you seen it?
So my story with Flight Plan is I believe I saw the first 40 minutes of it and got bored as fuck.
I thought it was novel. Now, I appreciate that. I thought this is going to be my unpopular one, because even when I checked out to see what people thought on it, I was like,
but
this isn't well with
years ago. Like, I haven't seen this recently.
You know what? I mean, the premise is stupid, but it had me intrigued. Now, you're talking about a woman whose husband has died. You're not even too you can tell she works for someone because you see her pass as she's picking it up to go from leaving Germany to go back to the US to bury her husband. Now, for some reason, it requires her to put a code on her husband's coffin that she's gonna to take back to the States. Now, we're told he fell off a roof. That's the one, and she's traveling with her daughter. As she's going to travel with her daughter's very scared, and it's because of the whole trauma of losing dad. Essentially, they're the very first 2 people on the plane. They sit down. They're in a fancy. Yeah, this is like business class or something. It's not lower class. It's a 2-floor plane.
Fuck you, lower class. It's called economy.
Oh, whatever. I didn't call it cattle. I didn't call it cattle. There we go. But so anyway, long story short, Jodie Foster falls asleep, wakes up, her daughter's missing. Now, the whole premise is, how the fuck do you lose someone on a plane? Irrelevant of the fact that it's one of those fancy dancy planes that may have 2 floors or what have you. You can't lose a plane. And I like the way that the air stewardess actually addressed it when she's trying to get it. She's like, well, in a weird turn of events, it appears that our plane is actually big enough to have lost someone. You know? So now they start on about like, you know, everyone has to sit down, they clear all the areas, they're checking like the luggage area, the toilets, the engine room, stuff like that. You know, they're trying to do it, but they then start to talk about the issue that it appears that it wasn't just her husband who died. There's a manifest that comes out and says her daughter has died as well. And she's like, so if I did, why would I leave my daughter behind? Why is there only one coffin? Now, you start to play on this, like, what is going on? Has she lost it? Has she not? That's where the interest is good. What they then unfold, I was like, Oh, we've gone down this route again. That's the sad bit about this film. It actually intrigued me. Now, I understand for you, like, again, this is years ago. You may be with everyone else and be like, well, it's a plane. There's no way you've lost it. You just need to scan further. You know, it is whichever way you want to play it. But it actually intrigued me. And I was like, I'm enjoying this. The ending kind of fluffed it for me. But, yeah, it was fun.
I do like Jodie, so I probably will give it another chance at some point. It was on my to-see list, and then Scottish movies fucked with me.
Yeah, I know that feeling, bro.
Cheers, Gavin. Yeah. Oh, Gavin. And speaking of Gavin, the flight plan.
Did I say the flight plan? Maybe I did that.
I don't even pick up on them anymore, mate. They blend in at this point. There was a reverse one you did earlier when it was Mask of the Phantasm. You just went Mask of Phantasm. I wanted to say now you're doing shit wrong as well. You're not putting those where they should be. Leave it. Fuck it. All right, AJ, you're number 6. No, that was your number 6.
Yeah.
Sorry. So mine. I'm really angry with the order I've done things in. I'm gonna get grilled for my number 6 for where it is, but I'll just carry on with it as it is. In at number 7. A movie that I have never heard people bring up or mention. I saw this while living in Asia. I think this goes 2007 or 2008, maybe. It's got James Franco in it. Really, really good, I think. Or maybe I'm remembering it with rose-tinted glasses. Flyboys.
Can't say I've heard of it, bro.
No, bro. No one seems to have heard of it. It's a World War I movie. That in itself I like because you don't get that many of those. It's always World War II, Cold War, Vietnam War. You know, you don't get that many World War I movies. So the setting itself, I was fascinated by. Now you got to remember, with World War I, technology was not what it was in World War II. Like,
100%, yeah.
We are still talking like, you know, the roll up to start up planes. They still got their AJ's gone. I'll carry on. I imagine he's talking with his missus.
I'm listening, bro. So just a small emergency in the house, but it's nothing to worry about. It will be fixed.
Are we losing you?
No, I'm here. Not to worry like that. I'm here. Just give me 2 seconds.
Okay. So yeah. So the planes are the startup planes with the old cranks. You've got most of the planes are still made with canvas wings. You know, it's very, very. We've just learned to fly type thing. It's not where we are now, obviously. And James Franco joins this team of flyers, and they're all very novel. It's very novel. They're all very new to flying. They're, you know, freshly trained fighter pilots who have joined the army. And they create this really interesting dynamic between the American fly team and the German fly team. And they manage to create this rivalry between the two of them that's seriously fascinating. And even the side characters, you genuinely do start to care about. If I'm not mistaken, it's actually all based on a true story as well. Like, I was watching it going, this is no business being as good as it is. Like, I'm really getting a kick out of this.
Is it available on stream?
I saw it at the cinema, bro. I couldn't tell you, and I haven't seen it since then. Yeah, Flyboys rings a bell, says Francis Lalonde. Word 789 says, I've seen this, but for some reason always confused it with Red Tails by George Lucas. No. But yeah, it's really interesting. And Word 789 says, also found it an odd choice to have a focus on US pilots in World War I. Super odd, but it worked. It really, really worked. And I encourage you to check it out, AJ. Playing film Dam Busters. Fuck. Well done, Francis Lalonde. You got me on that one. I should have mentioned that. So that was my number 7. Here we go with the grilling, because I'm kind of this should have been much lower. Disclaimer, I regret putting this here on the logic that we're going on, which is how much takes place on a plane. This should have been 8 or 9, maybe even 10. But the performance is so fucking good in it. Flight with Denzel Washington.
So do you remember the last time we Flight came up? And I was like, I've seen 95% of it. I've seen it. And it's really funny because this was coming back, and my Netflix, I hadn't actually finished it. I had like 12 minutes left. But I was like, it's no way, I only had 12 minutes left and I've not finished it. I watched it again. Yeah. Fucking awesome.
It's so good. It is so good. Now, in the scope of the logic of our show, I'll say again, should this movie be as high as it is? Absolutely not. Not enough of it takes place on a plane. But what does, though? Whee!
And this is what nearly made Sully lose out. As I said, Sully's tipping point was the simulators. Now, that is really sad, but it's the truth, right? It's how much you focused on a plane in the black box in that film. The inverting of the plane was absolutely breathtaking. Now,
Yes.
I'm not spoiling nothing. This is first 10 minutes of the film. But, yeah. Wow.
And then when you find out his reasons for doing it, validating the fact that, yes, he was coked off his head, but still had the wherewithal to pull a seriously big dick move that you only get from experience.
Yeah.
It created such an interesting dichotomy between, should he have been behind the steering wheel that inebriated and coked up? Fuck no, he shouldn't. But despite all that, he still had the wherewithal to save all the people. The fact that they want to argue that, oh yeah, but you killed 4 of them, it's like, bitch, the plane sucked.
The killing of the 4 is it is not what they should go for. But again, the way you have to break it down, and I think the judge brought it up in the film as well, is if you were, no matter how good a driver you are, if you were behind the wheel of a car, you shouldn't be behind the wheel of a car. And the same goes for everybody. And that's the caveat behind it. But again, as Don Cheadle's character says in the film, no one else could have done what you've done. We've hired people and they couldn't do it. And that's what tells you, And again,
what I'm fascinated by it is that while all this is going on, while they're trying to, vindicate him and prove how much of a great pilot he actually is without mentioning the cocaine, he's having this complete downward spiral into his demons and into alcoholism. And it's genuinely tragic to watch. And then it leaves me so conflicted at the end, because it's like, you had a way out, but it was almost kind of like, no, you decided that you needed to serve time as your comeuppance.
No, this is it. I think everyone has that point where you have to come to a realization, and and I think that relationship that he lies about, again, it's one territory. It just values it, to put a respect on someone and to not bury someone and continue down this. Like, put it this way, there was a part of him that could have said, "You got away with it this time. You may not next time." So you know what? Come to, you know what I mean? Like, who knows what it was? There were many reasons behind it, but he done the right thing. So, awesome movie, bro. I wouldn't even argue what it is, because the impact of what when you take an element like on a boat, on a plane, on a train, what have you. There are times you have to sometimes pull back. There are times you have to pull back because sometimes there's only so much you can do on it. It's based around, I believe is the best way to do it. And this is based around flying an airplane. There's no in-betweens on that. It's a pilot going through shit, even though, that's it. So this valid where it's at. That's my defense.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is my number 6 then, mate. Over to your number 5.
Right. This could probably be higher if I could only remember the film. Like, I've seen it tons of times as a kid, and I haven't refreshed in years. I'm going to do it, and I just didn't get a chance to refresh it. It's the guy I share a birthday with. It's the one I got nothing but love for. Mr. Tom Cruise in Top Gun. Numero uno, because I still haven't seen number 2. I was promising myself to do the double bill, and I just didn't get a chance to. This move
still available every third weekend in view. You need to fucking see this movie in the cinema, or you are about to 300 yourself again.
Bro, do you know what hurt me? And I'll tell you why I've 300'd myself, if that's a word. It is now. Because I've learned the pleasures of 4D, and I have not 4D'd this movie.
Which is why you need to see it.
Yeah, but I will see it in a view. I will see it in a view, but View don't do 4D. They don't do 4DX. So I will do it, and I'll be like, I should have fucking gone then.
Five times I saw Maverick, and I saw it in every single way possible. I saw it in an independent cinema. I saw it in a Cineplex. I saw it in a Cineplex in 4DX. I saw it in an Everyman cinema, and I saw it at a Curzon cinema. I went ape shit with Top Gun Maverick. I was like, take all my money. Just take it all. Please take the money.
I remember when it was coming out, and not Everyman, Picture House in Finsbury Park were doing the double bill. I know everyone else was, but that was the one poster that always stuck out to me. And I kept saying I'm going to do it, but time just catches up with you sometimes, and I'm fuming. And I must admit, I went to see Maverick recently. I was like, let me do it. Let me just do it. And it wasn't listed anywhere. Like, I'm talking Reading was the only place that came up on my list. I was like, that's not happening. I really want to see this film, but not that.
Worth it.
But yeah, so I mean, as I said, I hate myself for blanking on this because of how many times I did watch it as a kid. But I just know it's Pilot School, and it's
homoerotic men making love to planes going pew pew. Come on.
Yeah, like I just remember some mad flying things as a kid, and like all the. Oh, do you know what? Do you know what's really cool? Now's the one time I can really celebrate having a sleep apnea machine. I remember a lot of this taking place.
Are you sure you want to do this? Oh, he wants to do this. Okay.
But it was all kinds of cool. Like, that was really cool. Yeah, fuck it. But yeah, but that's what I remember as a kid. And I would really like to take it in as an older person, really. That's the one thing with Top Gun I would like to do. But you can't talk planes and not bring up the Top Gun movie.
Bro, it's so good.
Is it one or two that we're talking here? Or both?
Both. They're fucking sensational films. They're freaking awesome. They are clearly directed at men, and I'm not disrespecting anyone who may be watching live or listening in after or watching after. If you're a woman and you enjoy these movies, I love you even more for it. But Tony Scott directed that first movie going, I need to show manly men doing manly things.
That hurt me even more. That's my soft spot director, man.
Tony Scott, bro, I told you, that guy's the one. Tony over Ridley any day of the week.
Big time. Ridley's name's out there so much more, but Tony is like the golden, the hidden gem.
One, mate. Tony is the one. Ridley hasn't done one of my top 5 movies. Tony has. Yeah, I love Tony Scott. But yeah, we'll talk Top Gun more later.
No, that's all by all means.
My number 5, mate, was the punt from earlier. That was Red Eye, which I saw for the first time for this podcast, and I freaking loved it. I was like, oh, I love it.
In 93. I felt that the moments I'm looking for, it had me tense, but not tense enough. Like, there was just moments of it. And then what also bugged me was the real tension moments were not on the plane. Do you know what I mean? She had one good moment. It built up, and it was like off the plane. I was like, keep it on the fucking plane. Keep it on the plane. Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying this. It wasn't quite believable, but it was more than semi-believable, if that makes sense. Like, there was part of this, I was like, I'm not having to suspend disbelief too hard here.
It's not completely unplausible. Like, it's possible.
The way these characters, Rachel McAdams in particular, were set up, and what I really liked about what Wes Craven did here is that there was lots of little details that are planted, like the point where they're in the bar, and there's little things that Killian's doing and little things he's noticing that come back later in the movie, and I'm like, this is good filmmaking. This is really good filmmaking. Like, when you have attention to detail like that, I am fucking on board with you. And tense, like a horror movie, tense, no, but utterly engrossing.
Yeah.
I was, I'm having to watch movies, as I'm going to sleep now, sadly, most nights, because father duties and all that. But bro, normally a movie will take me 2 or 3 nights to get through because I'll nod off. This one, I was like, yeah. I was like, wide open. I was like, I am on board like a motherfucker for this. This is on board, pun intended. But yeah, love Red Eye.
Cool. I didn't hate it. I just felt like the moments that really had me going needed to be on a plane more, and that's what killed it for me. But yeah, I mean, there's enough on a plane. Don't get me wrong for it to count.
All right, sir. You're number 4.
Right, in at number 4, I doubt you've seen this one, and I think it's HBO Max, but I was lucky enough to catch this on Sky.
Oh, HBO Max, you got me sold. Well, Sky essentially distributes HBO Max here, so it's same.
Bro, do you know what? This goes back to like 1994, 1993. It stars Lawrence Fishburne, and it's called Tuskegee Airmen. Right? Cuba Gooding Jr. is in there as well, which was quite interesting because he's also in Red Tail.
You forgot of that.
Did I? Oh, there we go. Okay.
The Tuskegee Airmen. That's twice you've done it now. He forgets those now. This fucking
You know
guy.
what it is? You know what it is? I've pissed off the missus because I'm doing this now, and I've cut off her film. So I've just had a small whisper of, "You've taken my internet." But hey, that's what happens when you have unlimited data on 2 phones and you don't want to have data on yours. But anyway, but yeah. So the Tuskegee Airmen.
You just went there. There's no, we won't go there. You just went there, and you went there, and it's very good that you went there. Good for you. Carry on.
I know, Mr. So I've got an apology to do later.
That's
What?
fine, wrestling.
What touched me about this film is it was the first time I'd actually found out about the Red Tails and the Tuskegee Airmen. Just happened to stumble across it on TV. And I've not actually seen Red Tails, even though I went to the premiere and met Cuba Gooding Jr. there. And it was just one of those stories that I remember watching, and you're seeing these air pilots going, fighter pilots going on. And the support they're saying, I remember my dad saying, yeah, they didn't trust the black guys, but look what happened. And that moment, excuse me, as a young kid has stuck with me forever. Even when Red Tails, I was like, they've made a film about this already. And I think it was so well made back then. It's not through that I've refused to watch Red Tails, but the reviews for Red Tails just wasn't that favorable, so I never got a chance to really catch it. I know it's on like Disney Plus or something, but this one really stuck to me, and it's always been one of those history-making moments for me. I was like, wow, I didn't know that.
You come up with some very left field choices every now and then, none probably more so than your Greg Louganis story that you brought up.
Do you know what kills me with these is that they're TV movies. This is, for the better of us, was a TV movie. You Wikipedia it will say TV movie, and it just kicks off. It just kicks off, and I really enjoyed it. It's been an age since I've seen it, but I had to bring it up.
Rob Barber wishes to know: are you on the Facebook, AJ?
Yeah. So you will see. You can look for Anthony Jordan. And I'm friends with Nico. There are 2 pictures. I have 2 accounts because there was a previous life and a current life. Long story. Excuse me, long story. But look out for the one with me and my better half outside Buckingham Palace, and the hair in cornrow style, not the guy sitting on a sofa doing a TV interview. And yeah, that's where you will find me, Rob. I'll be looking forward to adding you.
It's not Shitlocks.
Oh, you little shit! You fucking ass. Swivel.
Sit and spin, yes?
Yeah.
Kevin Mann says, never heard of it, AJ. Left field Muppet film?
Yeah, I think it's mega rare, but when I did look at the poster now and it said HBO Max, it gave me hope that it's out there again to find.
Francis Lalonde with some great choices tonight, and just now remembered Iron Eagle et al., though not quite top 10 material. Good choices tonight, Francis. I like it. That was your 4, AJ, yes?
Indeed.
Okay.
I've warned everyone now, my bottom 3 are Le Fromage, but they're worth it.
Fromage is good.
Yeah.
Fromage is good. My bottom 3 are Le Fromage too. Don't worry, I got you, bro.
Fist bump.
Fist bump, I got you. My number 4, some would say there's not enough plane in this. I would strongly fucking disagree with that, such as the importance of the planes and the fact that it is recurring. It's not just a one and done thing like Flight. It's one of my top 5 films of all time. Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove.
It is recurring. I will give you that. At first, the thing is, the War Room is so memorable, but you can't. You can't dispute the fact that the play. Yeah, fucking ends with a rocket. Really. Like it's pivotal to the film. It's pivotal to the film.
You get me? The spinning cowboy and the fucking missile and the bombing of the base and the atomic explosions and bada bim bada boom, you know? But yeah, look, Doctor Strange, the War Room doesn't have power if you don't have the plane.
This is it. That's the thing, kind of like Flight. It doesn't have to be on a plane, but it revolves around a plane, and it's essential. So I get it.
It really, and it's to this day, it's still one of my favorite lines ever. Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the War Room. It's such a fucking great line. It really is. And it's also bleak now. Dr. Strangelove has aged incredibly well thematically because it's a real bleak outlook on where we could actually all be heading.
Bro, in that.
It's fucked up. But Peter Sellers, is a genius. I'm not saying anything new at this point, but the fact that he plays 3 different characters who are all so radically different in this is, I know, Dimitri. Well, how do you think I feel, Dimitri? Well, no, I don't think you are, Dimitri. It's so good what he does. Mansuga! The fucking...
I must admit, there are some parts, and it's one of the films I know you appreciate a lot more than me. But when it came to those resisting Nazi traditions, I was, and I shouldn't be saying this in the house I'm in, but I was dying with laughter. Oh, yeah.
Hitler, 9! But yeah, Dr. Strangelove is sensational, and it's not just the dropping of the bomb at the end. The whole setup, because that fucking cowboy, as exhibited, he's ready to go. He wants the fucking world to end. He is an anarchist of the highest degree. He just needs someone to give him, to quote the Joker, a little push. You know, it's one of the all-time great films for me. But yeah,
cool.
Oh, Gavin Mann says has not seen Dr. Strangelove. Added Dr. Strangelove to my watch list. Really need.
Yeah, but it's a weird one. It's a weird one. Now, I say that because, as I said, I enjoyed it, didn't love it. It's I don't think it can ever be like in my top 10 films, you know. But it's the appreciation of Peter Sellers is not to be dismissed. That is the guy's an absolute genius. Like the stuff that you see Mike Myers doing in Austin Powers is clearly heavily influenced by someone like Peter Sellers, who just chameleon of them morphed into 3 different characters as Nick Fed in throughout the film.
It's insanity, isn't it?
And you wouldn't actually guess that it's the same guy as well. That's what I loved about it even more. You know that there are traits that you could tell Austin Powers and Dr. Evil are the same guy. Not so much with Peter Sellers in this film. Like, you're like, oh shit, right? He's that guy as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Francis Stone with some great quotes here. The bomb, Alexei, the hydrogen bomb. Animals could be bred and slaughtered. The premieres of the man of the world, but he is a man. It's so good. Well, boys, look like it's nuclear combat, toe to toe with the Ruskies. It's, fuck, I love that film so very much. AJ, you're number 3.
Right, in at number 3. This is the one that puts a smile on your wife's face, but it may also disappoint her that it's not number 1. Con Air.
It's very funny you say that, AJ, because that's also my number 3.
There we go. It had to be done.
Of course, it's in there.
Of course. I mean, we've talked about Con Air at all times. It's literally in the name. It's a plane that takes convicts to a prison, between prisons. And guess what? The convicts take over. And then you've got the man that is Nicolas Cage with his Bernie for his old daughter. Don't touch the Bernie. That's, yeah. He's the good bad guy in all of this story. And yeah.
It's so stupid, but such fun.
It's fun. It's absolute crazy.
Such fun. You've got to love how overacting everyone is. Put the banner back in the box. Nicolas Cage doing his best Elvis Presley. Put the banner back in the box. He's like a cross between Elvis Presley and Johnny Bravo. Nick Cage to play Johnny Bravo. I'd fucking watch that.
Could you imagine?
I would watch the shit out of that. He's got the physique for it.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Speaking of the devil, look who walks in just as we're talking about Con Air.
Yeah, she must have heard it. She must have heard the words Con Air.
Con Air.
Yeah, absolute great madness. And do you know what? If you want to smell 90s, just watch that movie. Just inhale. Just inhale and smell the fumes of the 90s all over that. And that's the craziness that you got to love about this.
And if you say one word about what we've done, the last thing you'll see is the flies buzzing above your rotting corpse. It's like, wow, John Malkovich overacting 101. What was it he says to Juanillo 23? They would call me Johnny 600 if they knew the truth. It's like, ew, gross. Cage, but not Cage. Malkovich is like, anyway, I despise rapists. To me, you're somewhere between a cockroach and that white stuff that gathers on the side of your mouth when you get really thirsty. It's like such a weird line.
That is awkward as fuck.
Such a
You
weird
got to
line.
wonder where writers get some of these ideas from, don't you? Like, whoever created, who thinks of that? Like, could you imagine script writing, putting down the pen for the night, waking up the next morning, I really hate that crust on my mouth. You know what? I hate that and cockroaches. The villain's going to talk about that in Con Air. How else did you come up with it?
So it's like you're somewhere between mustard and period blood. It's like, huh? What the fuck?
Oh dear, oh dear.
So weird. Like, why say that? Yeah, I mean, but there's a weird, odd side cast to this, isn't there? I think Dave Chappelle is in this, John Cusack is in this, Cole Meany is in this. It's got a weird side cast.
Yeah.
And yet, it's Ving Rhames is in this, for fuck's sake, playing
Of course.
Diamond Dog. It's weird, but it's fun.
It's fun, and that's what
It is fun. AJ, what is your number 2?
I was torn with this. You know, my number 2 was initially my number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I made it my number 2 because I've not had a chance to talk about my number 1 in ages. Not that I've seen my number 1 in ages. Yeah, in at number 2, get off my damn plane. The president himself, Harrison Ford, Air Force One.
No, get off my plane, because that's also my number 2.
Okay, we're doing this. We're clearly doing this.
We are clearly doing this. Great minds.
And
like yourself, it was my number 1 also, until I remembered my number 1. I was like, no.
So, what I love is, this was President movies that got me into this film. So I've known about Air Force One for the longest while. I was like, how good can this really be? Fucking mind blown when I saw it. I was like, kick some ass, Harrison, man. And it's that moment. So it's the president flying back from Russia. It gets hijacked. Good old Gary Oldman.
Hi, Gary Oldman.
Yeah, good old Gary Oldman as their lead terrorist in this. And they're taking over Air Force One. And I remember the part that gets to me, and it's not a spoiler, guys, is where there's the president's escape pod. And it was like, he's left. I was like, so what the fuck? How did he get back on the plane? It opens up. The president's not in there. What the fuck? He's going to fight for his plane. And the madness just ensues from there. Absolute fucking madness. Loved it. Loved it through and through. And I was just shocked. I didn't believe it could be as good as it was. Like, I'd heard it passed, and I was like, this is really good. Like, I'm captivated with this film. Like, it really had me.
Yeah, executive decision is like a shit Air Force One, and Air Force One is like a good executive decision. That's kind of how I see them, because the premise is exactly the same. Plane with important US person gets hijacked and asks for something to be unhijacked, and man goes and stops it. This man happens to be the president, which makes it even cooler. Harrison Ford is just awesome. Can we all acknowledge that the trailer for Indiana Jones 5 is about to drop any day now? Like, they've wrapped filming.
You know what makes that even more cool is the picture I sent into our WhatsApp group the other day. Guys, I should have uploaded it today. I didn't think about it. Wherever I've moved recently, near my local Tesco, which is my local supermarket.
Yeah, it's cool as fuck.
There is the George Lucas Studio. Like, I literally see it. It's just big and bold, just there, George Lucas Studio. And I was like, what the hell's been filmed there? Excuse me. Fuck yes. And I was like, yeah, I think one of the original Star Wars movies was in there, as well as in Indiana Jones. And I'm like, Harrison Ford has been kicking ass in that studio, man. It put such a smile on my face. And yeah, you're right. Harrison Ford, like fine wine, that man, like fine wine.
Bro, when he goes, that's gonna suck.
Oh, don't. You need to hear that, guys. I'm touched. Well, of course, it's life. Life is life, and Father Time is merciless.
That cunt.
But, yeah. It's death taxes.
Fuck the nun, and fuck the father.
Yeah.
In that order.
Sad times. But hey, we appreciate him while we still got him, and that's the key point to that. Salute, Mr. President. Yeah. So that's my number 2. Our joint number 2.
Yes. Your worst? Our worst, I guess.
Okay, so I know this is going to catch so much backlash.
Oh yes.
But I believe it's aged.
Yes.
And I watched this film from beginning to end, and I don't believe I chuckled. right?
Yep.
And the sad bit,
I'm
because
with
people put it as one of the all-time great comedies.
Nope, it's not.
Take me if you will. Airplane is my worst.
It is
It's
also my worst.
It just didn't bang. It just didn't bang.
Not a single laugh came out of me. Not one.
And if there was one, it was such a mean. You're like, huh, okay, I would appreciate it because I'm watching a comedy.
Shirley. Okay. Is this the line that I've been waiting for? Really? This is the No.
Some of the reoccurring jokes along the way. I think it was like the sweating pilot. There was all of them. I was just like, really? It just didn't. And I keep saying to myself, maybe in a long time gone, maybe had I watched this film when I was 8, I don't even want to say 10. I feel like
It's annoying because Leslie Nielsen's done slapstick that has not necessarily made me laugh, but that I've, appreciated. There we go. Spy Hard. Stupid.
But I've realised that going back to those, they're not good, is it?
Oh, no. No, they are not. Austin Powers is aged like a fine wine. That shit is still funny.
That's gold. I would like to think Hot Shots is as well, if I'm honest. But like the Naked Gun, and I think it was
Naked Gun I never found funny in the first place.
But I remember trying to do Spy Hard, and I was like, this just is not. It's not doing good when I tried to watch it back again.
There's nothing more subjective in film than comedy, is there?
No.
It's nuts how much comedy can divide people. Will Ferrell, Jim Carrey, Steve Carell, like Cornetto trilogy. Like, it's nuts how much that shit can divide people.
Yeah.
Like, if a horror doesn't scare you or it does scare you, it's like, oh, okay, we both get the meaning behind what the horror was trying to achieve, fear or not. If a comedy if a comedy makes one motherfucker laugh, but it doesn't make the next motherfucker laugh, it's like a congressional hearing. Like, the fuck do you mean you didn't laugh? I'm like, I didn't find it funny, bitch. You're like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
It's legit that. It is legit that, and it is that. What can like, and it's funny because I think what's sad with that is, depending on your mood, comedy can really make your day. And the fact that someone goes, something that has made your day is shit. You're like, what? It becomes personal. Do you know what I mean? If a film scares you, you're out for the shivers. You're like, okay, all right, high fresh. But something that has categorically made you smile, make you feel like, fuck, that's good. That was shit. How can we even have a conversation? Do you know what I mean? When you talk good and bad, that is the prime level of good. Like a good comedy.
See, I think of good comedies of the 21st century, which we need to do a list of, by the way. Maybe for Red Nose Day or something, comedies of the 21st century.
Yeah.
The ones that come to mind are like 40-Year-Old Virgin, The Hangover, Austin Powers. Those are comedies that really made me... Bruno, that shit made me laugh, But I know people who watch Bruno and they're like, I don't get it. I'm like...
Bruno was mid to me. I think it was Borat that is, out of all of Baron Cohen.
Bruno slayed me. Like,
there were some parts I was dying with, other parts I was like, are we really doing that? That's where I'm at with Bruno.
But then people will pull for what's Knob Cunt's face, the fuck clown, Blue Steel. What's Zoolander?
Zoolander, yeah.
I watched it. I'm like, there's one scene that genuinely made me laugh out loud, which was the cat walk off. That shit was funny to me. The rest of the movie, I was like, whatever.
When everyone told me about Zoolander and I finally got to it and I heard him go, Merman, I was like, fuck this shit. I categorically refuse. Even if it relied on sponsorship and my life, I would refuse to watch Zoolander 2. I was like, it's not for me. It's not going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. No.
Yeah. It's comedy is Bad Santa. That shit killed me. That was
I've not done it yet.
Oh, it's funny. That's a funny fucking film. It's seeing Billy Bob Thornton playing an angry middle-aged Santa, referring to his penis constantly as my fuck stick. It's like, okay. It's just incessant. And I'm banging little elves in the car who are going, fuck me, Santa, fuck me, Santa, fuck me, Santa. I don't know why that shit made me fucking lol.
It could be so rock. This is why I get told. Sometimes I'm like too grossed out, or other times I'm like dying through the gross out. Eurotrip is a prime example. Like
Eurotrip, a fucking great 21st century comedy. There you go. That shit made me laugh. Scotty doesn't know the Fiona Red. We do it in my van every Sunday. That's good shit. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. The fuck stick got Nico. Yes, it fucking did. The fuck oh, yeah. So that's both of our worst. AJ, your best.
It was my number 2 for the longest while, but for some reason the line "always bet on black" just kept popping into my head. Wesley Snipes, Passenger 57. I just couldn't not do it, man. I remember having that DVD and wearing that fucker right out, man. Like, I watched the film like hell. I think it was one of those rare films that actually went from VHS to DVD. You know, there were some films you had it, and, yeah, like it's cheesy as hell. It's corny as hell.
57 is to AJ what Lord of the Rings is to Nico. We upgraded, motherfucker. We upgraded.
There we go. Yeah, that's the celebration of life. No, it was just one of those films. I think the video collection had gone, and my collection of DVDs was in CEX, like picking up stuff for a pound. I was like, oh, they've got Passenger 57. I'm picking up shit up right now, and it's that, and it's a retired terrorist agent.
You know, I've never seen this, right?
Seriously,
never seen.
Bro, fucking hell. It
was on my fucking watch list for this, and Red Eye.
Where can you find it? No, I don't even know where to find it.
AJ Vision.
Yeah, it may well be that one. I may, depending on the internet connection, I may have to hook you up. But yeah, it's one of those. So basically, Wesley Snipes is a retired terrorist agent who happens to be on a plane that gets hijacked by terrorists. So you've got Liz Hurley in there. In one few times I didn't recognize.
This sounds familiar.
Liz Hurley plays an air stewardess in it, and if I'm not mistaken,
is there a villain? Does she go to serve the villain's steak at one point and says, "How do you like your steak?" And he looks at her and says, "Bloody."
You may well be right. It's been a while.
If that happens, then I think I have.
I'm pretty sure, because there's not often that Liz Hurley's played a air stewardess, and yeah, it's Wesley Snipes.
He's like this kind of greasy, blonde-haired guy, the villain.
Yeah. You're looking at that kind of guy.
Really high fucking hairline.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I remember really enjoying it. It's good.
Yeah, it's just crazy, stupid. Again, as I said, it's the fromage at this point, and we're talking Wesley Snipes doing kung fu in an airplane, and it's just these weird fight scenes and how you can protect a plane while not being on a plane, like while being only on a plane, and there's only so much limitations you can do. Protecting the passengers, it's crazy fun. But I've loved it forever. Need to rewatch it. That's why it's a bit of a summary there, guys. But I was like, no, I have not talked about Passenger 57 fucking ages.
Just notice Wesley Snipes likes to fuck around with altitude, you know, because he also did that movie Drop Zone. You remember that?
Yes, that was the parachute movie, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does he like to get high?
Not that Denzel's character in Flight High, but just go there. Yeah.
Go up there.
Yeah. It's weird because I think Drop Zone and
hey, the porn's back, blocking the porn.
Yeah, now we're doing it. You talked about getting high. Porn comes back. What's that film that you talked about? That surfer film you talked about with Keanu?
Oh, fucking Point Break, that piece of shit.
Point Break and Drop Zone all feel like they all came out around the same time. You know, these stupid films that they try to convince us are going to be good, but just le fromage to another higher degree.
Dude, you know, more people I speak to, the more people I realize love Point Break. And I'm watching it going, I've asked everyone, I'm like, do you like it like ironically, kind of the way like I like The Room? Is it like an irony, like, you know it's shit, but that's kind of why you like it? They're like, no, it's fucking good. I'm like,
that was the response I had actually when I asked people after the episode. I was like, so I'm meant to be watching Point Break, like, it's fucking awesome. And I was like, you are, you are. I need to see it. But I remember watching the first 5 minutes and going, this isn't going to be good. This is not gone back.
Not a good film. That's what I said. If people are going to tell me that they like it ironically, I'm like, that shit I'm down for. Liking terrible movies for that reason, I'm on board with. I'm sorry, this is not a good film. Like, it's awful. Fucking Nazi surfers bank robbing presidents. I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. It sounds like the perfect sort of film to like ironically. I said I'm on board. But if you're legitimately going to tell me, no, it's good, I'm like, no, it's not. It is not a good movie.
The new choices people go through, man.
Going down. Like fucking Johnny Utah. Like, this is why people say Keanu's shit. Then I have to bring John Wick to the party. Isn't it mad to say at this point John Wick is cooler than Neo?
Yeah, oh God, bro. But God, what did they do with Neo? When those films, listen, John Wick, Keanu Reeves done himself a favor. He done the Matrix a favor by delaying John Wick. Because let me tell you now, if those films came out, the absolute obliteration the Matrix would have had. What a heap of shit. I'm telling you, Candyman, you got some work to do because the films I'm seeing you in are not working. I can't remember exactly.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen II.
Yeah, he's Candyman until he proves himself to me. I'm sorry. It's just like Anthony Mackie. I'm sorry. It's like, do you know how long it took me for Anthony Mackie to not be Papa Doc? I didn't even trust him as Falcon. I'm like, that fucker's up.
I know. I remember you saying he's Papa Doc.
I don't trust him. So, yeah.
But AJ, his name's Clarence. Come on.
Fair play.
And he lives at home with both parents. Come on. They got a real good marriage.
You know the sad bit about Clarence, right? Is
that the film is 20 years old this month. What the fuck?
Don't do me that. But you know the sad bit about Clarence, right? Is you can pretend to be hood. But if you went to the Lycée Français Charles de Gaulle, there's only so far you can push that. So when that rap is going on, it's like, I know something about you. That's a private school. Oh, fuck, private school. Private school. Shut the fuck up. And AJ lives at home with both parents. Shut the fuck up, Rabbit. Fuck you, Rabbit.
I'm Team Papa Duck.
I'm free one free.
I'm free world, motherfucker.
Yeah, fuck you. Fuck the 313.
Fuck the 313. Rob Barber says, I watched Bill and Ted Face the Music the other day. Cringe. Yeah, I've got no desire to see that.
It's going to be really bad as well.
I've never seen a Bill and Ted movie, ever.
I had fun with them. I remember Bill and Ted and Wayne's World being like really akin. But Wayne's World...
I only saw Wayne's World for the first time this year, and I've really enjoyed it.
But the thing about Wayne's World that I always have a soft spot for now, especially when we weren't doing this virtually, is I felt like we were doing like a Wayne's World. Like we used to have the little shed, we were setting up and we were doing our recordings. And that's why I've always got exactly. I don't know what Bill and Ted will do for me now. It's a weird time travel movie. I want to revisit them, but I couldn't tell you. I might really regret it. Like, what the fuck is this?
Well, AJ, are you ready? Because there's only one place to go now. You know where I'm taking you.
To the danger zone.
Highway to the danger zone.
Is that song in there again?
Top Gun Maverick is my number one. What did you say also?
That song in there again?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
It's what the movie literally opens with. That's what I was like. that literally sets the tone for the movie. They're on a freaking massive aircraft carrier as the sun is rising, and then it's all slow, and then the planes take off, and that fucking song kicks in. And oh my god, yes, I'm back. Fucking yes.
Nice.
Bro, the fucking flight scenes in this movie. Fuck every plane movie that has ever lived, because what they did, they were actually in the jets. The shit isn't CG. That's what's terrifying. But they all did it. Tom Cruise, Miles Teller, fucking what's his face? Pullman's kid, Donald Pullman. Like, they're nuts. The fucking lot of them. They are nuts. They were in planes going at fucking terminal velocity, passing out. Like, watch the documentaries about this movie. There's footage of literally them going and passing out from the G-force. Like, what they put themselves through for this movie was insane. And motherfucker, it shows on screen. Like, Louis, who I watched this with, kept on nudging me, going, I swear this has to be CG. They can't have done that. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, that's them in the fucking plane. There's no CG here. It's fucking insanity what they did in this movie. Like, Never, not even Avatar was as good as this in 4DX. Like, this was such a cinema experience to be in the fucking plane, like doing that with the chairs. And I was like, yeah, like normally I'm not about 4DX, but with a movie like that, wow.
Yeah. Again, the thing about 4DX is you need to take a 4DX made film.
Yes.
This is one of them. I believe Black Adam was going to be. I'm hoping Black Panther 2 will be. However, stuff like, and I say this respectfully without even seeing the film, I don't believe Woman King was built for 4DX. I want to see Woman King, but I would not pay for it in 4DX. And that's the thing. If you take the wrong experience, 4DX is going to be just a letdown. You go to the right movie, my God, it's the best cinema experience you could ever have.
Yes. Avatar, which you came out saying the story still sucks, but it's the best cinema experience I ever had.
Love it. Avatar
in 3D on a 4DX seat. Very little touches it.
Right.
Are you seeing Avatar 2 in 4DX, AJ?
Oh yeah, without the misses.
Oh yeah.
No, I was going to try and fix the TV for her, but she's going to have to wait. She's going to have to wait. I can just hear the phone.
Wait.
I can
wait.
The building, but hey.
Well, she got about another half hour for our other podcast.
Right.
Yes, Jen, I see you. Top Gun. Yes, you damn right, Top Gun. My girl. All right, bro. Let's Rushmore this.
Right. Before we do, can we do our top 10s? Because it's still a thing.
They're not getting a lot of views.
They don't do too bad on TikTok.
If they do good on TikTok, keep going.
Right. Okay. Right. So
exclusively for TikTok then, okay? Because it's not getting numbers on Insta and it's actually hurting our algorithm.
Fair enough. Okay. So here are our top 10 movies set on a plane. In at number 10 for me, United 93. Could you just press the images for me? Yeah, thank you. Right, here are top 10 movies set on a plane. United 93, the film of the fourth plane that did not hit its target during 9/11. In at number 9, I've got Red Eye, Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy. Rachel McAdams' dad has been kidnapped by Cillian Murphy's associate and she has to follow the rules to save his life. In at number 8, Sully, the story of a pilot who saves the passengers on board, but he is vilified for his actions and he has to prove himself. In at number 7, the Twilight Zone movie, not entirely based on the plane, but we have the fear at 30,000 feet. One to be seen, is there a monster on the wing? In at number 6, Flight Plan, Jodie Foster's daughter goes onto a plane with her daughter. She can't find her anymore. Can you really lose somebody on a plane? We'll find out. In at number 5, Highway to the Danger Zone, Tom Cruise in Top Gun. In at number 4, the Tuskegee Airmen, story of the original story about the airmen, the Red Tails, and how they supported the air fighters during World War II. Number 3, Con Air, put the body back in the box. Number 2, Air Force One. The president is fighting for his plane and he's going to kick people off. Airplane is our worst movie. And in at number 1, always bet on black, Wesley Snipes, Passenger 57.
Very nice. All right, quick rundown of my top 10. Then in at number 10, we have got Samuel Jackson with the motherfucking snakes on the motherfucking plane. Snakes on a plane. Yes, it's self-referential, it's self-aware, it's terrible, and it's awesome for it. In at number 9 is the arguably too long but entertaining, nonetheless, executive decision. In at number 8, Christopher Nolan's time-bending, brilliant set piece of Dunkirk, showing Tom Hardy in a Spitfire. What more do you need? Taking it back to World War I with Flyboys and James Franco. In at number 7. In at number 6, yeah, it doesn't take much on a plane, but the whole movie is essentially about a pilot and his antics on a plane. Number 6, I've got Flight. In at number 5, again, like AJ, I've got Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy in Wes Craven's Red Eye. Really suspenseful and highly overlooked. Number 4, one of my 5 favorite films of all time, Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove. In at number 3, like AJ, I've got Con Air. Number 2, like AJ, I've got Air Force One. My worst is also Airplane. And in at number 1 is the amazing Top Gun Maverick.
Right. Okay. Well, let's say Air Force One.
Con Air needs to go in there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. I'm down with that.
But we both picked them, yes?
I will give you Maverick over Top Gun.
Yes. I'll take that.
It's the 4th. That's a bitch. Oh, actually, that's over to the screeners as requested.
The screeners.
Okay, guys.
So, as with always, Film Family, you get to pick the final entry into the Movie Mount Rushmore, as suggested by Pedro. Also, we completely forgot to fucking say this. Could you guys please drop your top 10s or your top 4s down into the comment section below? Completely forgot to do that this week. So my apologies for that. And I'll
ignore the private chat. That's just me doing it because that's a way for me to do it today. Guys, don't be afraid to say Passenger 57. You won't be wrong.
Yeah. What do we want for our final pick, guys? Do we want Passenger 57? Do we want Dr. Strangelove? Do we want Red Eye? What are we all thinking? Maybe we want Dunkirk, Flyboy, Snakes on a Plane even could make it in there.
Snakes on a Plane could, yeah.
What are we all thinking for the final spot? While you guys are thinking about that, let me look at some of your guys' Rushmores. So RJ Skarenki at the top of the show said Air Force One, Passenger 57, the Delta Force, and Executive Decision. Francis Lalonde has said Porco Rosso from Studio Ghibli, Airplane, Airport from 1970, and Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. You like that movie, don't you, Francis? You bring that up a lot. Gavin Mann has pitched just a Rushmore for me this week. Con Air, Die Hard 2, Die Harder, Dunkirk, and Airplane.
With Die Hard 2, did you not feel it was more Airport than Airplane?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pedro Sancto says, my top 4, Dr. Strangelove, Airplane, Passenger 57, Con Air. Jen says, first, Inception. Let's face it, it was technically about DiCaprio and Co sleeping on a flight. Ooh, from Sydney to LA. Well played, Jen. Thinking outside the box there. Second, Top Gun Maverick. Agree, the plane flight patterns. Epic. Rob Barber has said, my 10. Sully, Flight 93, Flight Plan 7,500, Top Gun, The Mountain Between Us, Dunkirk, and Top Gun Maverick and Devotion when I get around to seeing them.
I love that, honestly.
Pedro Santos has picked Dr. Strangelove. Gavin Mann has picked Con Air. Rob Barber
Con Air's in, Gavin.
Yeah, Con Air's in, so you're good for that. Rob Barber has picked Snakes on a Plane. Pedro Santos, my vote goes to Kubrick for sure. Francis has also said Dr. Strangelove. Rob Barber has said Terminal, need that in the list. Lol. Airport
I actually enjoyed that film, you know.
So did I, but it's highly overrated.
I would also give it that.
And Francis, yeah, Strange. So we've got a few for Dr. Strangelove. I think that should go in.
People. No one bet on black. Just black and white.
No one bet on black. Good to rock and roll.
Yep. I need to add that to my thing.
The crazy part of me really wants to put Snakes on the Plane on there.
The temptation. You could have gone for the whole.
It's huge. Ladies and gentlemen, the official Movie Mount Rushmore of movies on a plane in no particular order is
Air Force One.
Our second entry is
Con Air.
Our third entry is
Top Gun Maverick.
Our final entry into the Movie Mount Rushmore of movies on a plane is...
I'm just going to go with Dr. Strangelove. I can't remember the entire name. Dr. Strange.
Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Caring and Learn to Love the Bomb.
That's the one. Thank you. Okay, guys. So we, the screeners, with a bit of help. We, the Silver Screen Dudes, with a can of help from the screeners, have created the Movie Mount Rushmore. Those are the 4 must-see movies of this genre, which is movies on a plane. So now it's over to you to head on over to Twitter at @MovieMTRushmore. But more importantly, the person will be retweeting good old JT from We Love Movies at Movie Polls for You. Head on over there. You can only vote once, and that's where you will crown El Capitan, El Numero Uno, the best of the best of the best, with honors. And just like Highlander, in the end, there can be only one. And the winner will be announced next week.
Yes. Otherwise, guys, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, AJ, but as a special thank you to our platinum regular follower, Mr. Gavin Mann, who's from Scotland, we're going to be doing movies in Scotland, AJ, next week, eh?
Scotland indeed.
Scotland indeed. Shite.
We will be minimizing the Scottish accent, though, Gavin. So don't be too offended.
Do not know. I might take some lessons on YouTube this week. You know, do an entire show.
You can't do that. You can't do Do you know, I'm just picturing On the Way to Clash at the Castle again, just the entire Welsh, the minute we crossed that sign.
And the whole car went Welsh. But, bro, the fucking drunk Welshman who goes, it looks like a spider on your head.
That actually happened.
He wanted to touch it. I was like, what the
Which
fuck?
he wanted to, bro. He did.
Oh, he did. Fuck me. Oh, Jesus. I've heard it brings you good luck.
We haven't gone that far.
Fucking Valley Boys, man. I still never forget what the hard shoulder in Wales is called. The dim lane.
The dim lane. You can't fucking see that.
Oh my God. Fucking hysterical. Yeah, so we're going to be doing Scottish movies next week. Now, just a forewarning, we are being utterly fucking liberal with Scottish in this, as in it could be set in Scotland, made by a Scotsman, about Scotland. Like, we're being liberal with this because, frankly, it's a bottomless. The time's not there, and it's bottomless
to refine it. The time's not there to refine it.
But we are doing our utter best. Would Highlander count?
Someone said that to me, and I was like, it's got a clan, but I don't recall much of the film taking place in Scotland. Like, I could be wrong.
That's what I thought. I thought it was New York.
Yeah, this is my thing. My problem is as well, I was more Highlander the TV series than the film, so that's also going to fuck people off. So, yeah, I'll shut the fuck up.
Quentin MacLeod over Connor MacLeod, eh?
No, Duncan MacLeod.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's what I saw first, but I just loved it. Yeah, the TV series kicked ass, man.
Pedro Santos says there's plenty of flashback scenes of Highlander in Scotland.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Gavin, man, no need to apologize because I actually have come across some seriously good Scottish movies. Some seriously good ones.
The movie Mount Rushmore is all about edutainment. So it's not something to apologize for in that nature. It's just a challenge. It's really to do with time. And had we really checked the calendar out properly, it could have been something a bit more.
I mean, that's a bullshit excuse. I think Gavin brought this up in like April. We've had time.
No, I said, had we checked the calendar, yes, we marked it down. And we're like, oh yeah, that's miles away, and that's what we've done. Like,
and then, oh fuck, it's next week. Shit.
Oh. Damn you, Gavin.
Right. Late night programming.
Literally that. Yeah.
But yeah. So Scottish movies next week. If you have enjoyed the show, guys, please do remember that you can support us by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/movie dudes. We are nearly at our target to be able to invest in a new piece of streaming software. And for literally less than the price of your daily Starbucks, you can support the podcast that you guys know and hopefully love. And if you can't, I get it. Cost of living crisis. It's a bitch. I completely get it.
Also, what you can do is spread the word. Tell 5 people. Tell a friend to tell a friend that, you know what, there's a really cool podcast out there. They chat shit, but it's good shit. That's some good shit. And
that's what I'm saying. Tell people to come.
Yeah. And again, it could be on YouTube, it could be on Facebook, and more importantly, it could be on a host of podcast platforms. And that includes Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Geo7. And tell them to just search for Movie Mount Rushmore. And we appreciate everyone who comes along. That is no beer.
We miss you. So that is it for another show this week, guys. I am Nico Liro.
I'm the one AJ, Anthony Jordan.
And we will see you guys next week to celebrate Scottish Independence Day or National Day or something like that. But something Scottish. We'll see you next week.